Hi everyone, it's Ailin here, back again with another video. Wow, has it been such a long time since I've turned on this camera and just started recording. I hope this is recording okay. I'm still trying to figure out the camera settings, the microphone settings, since it's been such a long time. But yeah, I've compiled a list of all of you guys' questions while I've been away. And I've kind of been more active on Instagram the past few months. A lot of you guys follow me on Instagram, and I've been more active on there. But the reason why I've been away for a while is because I got pregnant. Some of you may already know that. And then we had a beautiful baby girl, and she is 5 months. She turned 5 months not too long ago. And yeah, it's just been the best, nurturing her, taking care of her. Pregnancy went well, giving birth went well. I did it all naturally, no medications. Yeah, there's a whole story to that, but it was the best that we could have hoped for. Of course, you guys know I wouldn't vaccinate my baby, nothing unnatural, no medications whatsoever, and she's happy and healthy, and now I'm on my breastfeeding journey with her. So yeah, she's growing very nicely. But yeah, so if you guys want to follow me, keep up with me on my journey. She is about to start real food soon at 6 months old. Right now she's 5 months, so first food that we're going to introduce her to is watermelon juice for sure, since it's so hydrating and sweet and similar to breast milk. So it would be a good transition into fruits, and then we can start to detox her little body. And yeah, it's really exciting. But yeah, I've missed you guys so much. I've missed being on here, being able to talk with you all. I have, the questions here, and we're just gonna dig right into them. Let's see if this feels a little better for me. Does it feel better right here? It's been so long. Let me just move some stuff out of the way. Oh, I got my berry smoothie here. But yeah, I was gone for a while because healing postpartum is no joke. All those hormones and how they play in with everything, with breastfeeding and recovery. Well, it was really no joke. I was actually expecting, keeping up with the business and consultations and everything like nothing was happening, I wasn't 9 months pregnant, I didn't just give birth. But yeah, I was taking consultations in the beginning of the 3rd trimester, but then I had to slow things down because my body was telling me to slow down. And now just I'd say maybe a month ago, I started to finally feel a little bit more normal, a little bit more myself again, in terms of my energy levels, in terms of not feeling that postpartum pain down there. Yeah, but I've heard that it takes maybe a year to fully recover. And some people believe that postpartum is for life. Postpartum is just, this new body that you have to embrace after giving birth. So yeah, I'm here for the journey, and I've just learned so much, and I'm so grateful that I went with a natural birth, and that I'm now able to pass that knowledge and wisdom and experience onto you guys, for those of you that want to get pregnant, for those of you that want to, incorporate detoxification at some level while pregnant or before falling pregnant. That's what I recommend, is detoxing your body very deeply before getting pregnant, because you want to heal up all of your genetic weaknesses. You want to clean up your lymphatic system of all these obstructions and acidosis and toxicity before passing that on to your child. So it's very important for the mom to detox, and also for the dad to detox too, before you guys get together and procreate. So that's what me and Gabriel did, and our baby is healthy as can be. So yeah, I'm excited to pass forward that knowledge to those of you that want to work with me one-on-one in picking my brain when it comes to pregnancy, childbirth, postpartum recovery, all those nice things. But yeah, in the future I will have to write an article or perhaps another video on how to have a natural birth. it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of re-educating yourself. It takes a lot of, you know, dismantling the fears that have to do with birthing and that have to do with, you know, what the medical system has implanted in all of us, is to fear birth and to, you know, especially the medical interventions, you know, that lead someone into needing a C-section, or that lead someone into, you know, wanting to get you know, medications to numb the pain because they fear the pain, right? So yeah, epidurals, all that stuff, you know, it's if you prepare yourself, if you know, educate yourself as much as possible before, during pregnancy, you know, right before giving birth, then you'll find that you don't need to fall into the hands of medical interventions. And that's what I found for my own journey, and from, you know, researching and listening to a ton of other women's stories on, you know, when they gave birth naturally, you know, even in a hospital setting, you know, that's what we had to do in a hospital setting. I still gave birth naturally without medications, without any interventions. So yeah, but that is a story for another day. So I'm gonna jump right into your questions. And I hope you guys have been doing well while I've been gone. I've been trying to post like little snippets and little clips of, you know, prior videos, because I think that the information is still relevant, and repetition helps you learn. It helps us digest the information more so that we can, you know, put it into practice, into our daily lives, into our detox journey. So yeah. So the first question, this is Q&A number 36, is, okay, I would love to work with you, Ailin. I have chronic pain from my hips down. I am constantly stiff and feel congested all over. I suffer with anxiety, anger, irritation, brain fog, poor memory, poor vision, ringing in my ears. The lymph on my right side of head was inflamed weeks ago and became swollen. I need help. The only reason I don't seek help is I cannot afford this, so it's disheartening. Soon in the new year, hope to be able to afford a one-on-one with you. Thank you so much for your videos. I have been plagued by a history of mercury poisoning from fillings for 40 years. What would you recommend for a natural detox? Thank you. Okay, so let's dissect this question. So yeah, having chronic pain from the hips down. Now, where does pain come from? A lot of times medical doctors like to call pain inflammation, but what inflammation really is just acidosis. So, you know, acidosis can come from so many different places. More often than not, acidosis, a majority of acidosis, comes from the fact that we are not removing our acidic waste that all the cells in our bodies produce day in and day out. So every single cell in our body, it's its own little individual unit. Every single little cell, and we have trillions of cells, by the way, all of them excrete waste, but they also require nourishment. So like us, like, you know, us as human beings, us as living beings, we consume food, like this smoothie, I consume food, and then I'm going to have to go to the bathroom, right? To urinate, to pass a bowel movement. We sweat through our skin. There's always some form of matter that has to be removed anytime you intake nourishment. So the same thing happens on an individual micro scale with all the cells in your body. Now, the major cause of most diseases is that we are not, like, the channels of eliminations have been blocked for decades, even for months, for years, for decades even, at that micro level. Now, it is the job of the lymphatic system to clean all the cells of all these wastes. But what happens is that somewhere along the line, whether that's from maybe a medication, whether that's from genetic weaknesses, whether that's from lifestyle or diet or stress or chemical toxicity or anything like that, these channels of eliminations can become blocked. And more often than not, there's a kidney and adrenal and lymphatic system and the colon correlation with these channels of elimination becoming blocked. So on that micro level, the cells the waste from the cells are removed through the lymphatic system, through all the lymphatic vessels and the lymph nodes. These wastes are sent to the lymph nodes to become neutralized by the bacteria, beneficial bacteria in there, by the macrophages. They're engulfed. All these toxins, all these mutated cells, heavy metals, medications, what have you, all of these acids are dealt with in the lymph nodes, and then they go through the lymph vessels and go to the kidneys to be filtered out of the body. That is what is known as kidney filtration. So if you pee in a clear jar and your urine is clear as day, then there is a problem. Urine should never be clear. It's a myth that urine should be clear for health. That is the exact opposite of what you want to see. Urine is supposed to be cloudy. You're supposed to see sediment. You're supposed to see flakes or something in there. That is indication that our bodies are functioning properly and they are removing lymphatic waste or cellular waste. Now, if they stop functioning, if the kidneys stop filtering these wastes and you're seeing that clear urine, then guess what? You are holding that acidosis within your body, and then it rises up. So think of this cup as your body. It starts to rise up, all this inflammation, all this acidosis. That is what creates pain. Acidosis is not cooling and soothing and hydrating. It's not that sort of experience. Acidosis is fiery, burning, destructive experience. So that pain that you're feeling in your body from your hips down, it's literally from lymphatic congestion and acidosis. And if I look at your eyes, I would be able to pinpoint and see what is it that's causing this acidosis. Some people have drug deposits like sulfur all throughout their eyes, all throughout their body. Some people have either acute, subacute, or chronic levels of lymphatic stagnation. Chronic levels take a little longer to detox and heal. Chronic levels, let's say in like a blue eye, look brown in color. In a brown eye, it looks dark brown in color. So, these are things that I assess when I read your eyes. I'm able to pinpoint and see, okay, what type of approach do we have to take? How aggressive do we have to be in this person's detoxification journey? What herbal formulas do they need? Does this person need in order to address the weaknesses that's causing this lymphatic buildup in their body, right? So oftentimes it's kidney weakness, adrenal weakness. You can see this in the eyes. A lot of times this is genetic. 9 times out of 10 people come to us with kidney and adrenal weakness all the time. 9 times out of 10 people's colons are very toxic, very destroyed in that interstitial tissue. So, these are all the things that we look at. And not only do these things affect elimination channels and kidney filtration, but the adrenal glands specifically, if they are weak, the adrenal glands, they're responsible for producing anti-inflammatory steroids. So if you have chronic pain in your body, it's often the adrenal glands that have been shut down, that have been burdened from a multitude of things. Sometimes people have past steroidal use. Sometimes, even stress or trauma can bring the adrenal glands down. Sometimes there's a genetic factor in play. Many people have genetic adrenal gland weaknesses. So, all this comes into play when building a protocol. And that's what I would recommend. You said that you're struggling to get help, but I'll always be here, you guys. Whenever you guys find the means to work with me one-on-one, then we'll be able to work together. For now, use these videos as a resource. I'm gonna try and help you as best as I can so you can start to implement a lot of these things into your life, and so you can start to heal. Okay, so yeah, that's what I have to say about chronic pain. I personally suffered with chronic pain for years and years on end, with fibromyalgia, a chronic pain syndrome. You feel everything from head to toe with fibromyalgia. Some people are diagnosed with lupus or Lyme disease, or MS or neuropathy or arthritis. All these sort of disease names. Really, a disease name, there's no such thing as a disease name. Disease names are really man-made, made up, in order to categorize symptoms. So, okay, what do you have with, fibromyalgia? You have muscle pain, you have, characterized by fatigue, characterized by brain fog, sensitivities, You put that as fibromyalgia, right? What do you have with arthritis? Okay, you have swelling of the joints, you have joint pain, you have cracking of the joints, you have degeneration of the joints happening. Okay, classify that as arthritis, right? So you see how disease names, it doesn't really matter if you're diagnosed with something. What really matters is the symptoms, the symptomology, and that's what you've laid out for me right here. With the symptoms, that's when we're able to say, okay, what area of the body is weak? Right? With the symptoms. And then we can address it with a healing protocol, with a detox protocol, with a diet plan and herbal protocol and detox tools. That's the name of the game, guys, is diet plan, herbal protocol, detox tools, maybe a little bit of fasting here and there. That's the ultimate healer of all health issues in the world, okay? So you go on to say, I'm constantly stiff and feel congested all over. Acidosis will do that to you. When you start to alkalize your body with hydration from the raw foods and the fruits, the most astringent ones like oranges, watermelons, berries, apples, all types of fruits, then you start to hydrate intercellularly within the cells, around the cells. That removes the cause of this stiffness that you're experiencing. And you feel congested. Well, congestion is mucus. So the body produces mucus as an emergency, like in an emergency situation. If there's something coming into contact with your body, right, that it sees as foreign, it sees as abrasive, it's going to produce mucus to protect itself. That's what tissues do. Tissue, the mucosa, especially in the sinuses, the throat, the lungs, the colon, all these are mucosal tissues, and if it comes into constant contact with an irritant, whether that's like maybe an acid forming food, meat, dairy, processed foods, wheat, gluten, all those types of things, grains like rice or beans, heavy to digest acidic foods, then it's going to produce mucus as a byproduct in order to try and protect itself. But the problem with that is that with too much mucus production comes the death of the cell, because if you imagine all the cells and tissues being bombarded with more and more mucus production, there's going to be very little oxygenation flow, blood flow, lymph flow, nerve flow, all these things that are supposed to keep the cell healthy and feed the cell. Right? So we really have to get rid of all this congestion right here. The best thing to get rid of congestion with is oranges, citrus. If you're congested up here especially, citrus, lemon water, lemon juice is fantastic. All fresh, all raw. Incorporating that into your diet and removing the most mucus forming foods, which is going to be processed foods, wheat and gluten, grains, animal products. If you're still eating animal products like dairy and meat, all that, remove it during your detox journey, then it's going to get to the root cause of the situation. I suffer with anxiety, anger, irritation, brain fog, poor memory, poor vision, ringing in my ears. So all that, a lot of these symptoms are stemming from up here. You see the brain fog, poor memory, poor vision, ringing in ears. So brain fog, the best way to get rid of brain fog is to address the colon, right? So the colon actually sits on top of the head, lymphatically speaking. The more you clean out your colon with the right herbs and the right diet, and you remove that mucus, remove that mucoid plaque, the old stools from the colon, then the head is going to start to become freed up. You'll be able to think clearly again, right? So that's what I recommend for brain fog. Other things that you can do is ear candling to remove lymphatic pressure from the head. 2 candles per ear is really good. You have poor memory. So poor memory and brain fog, oftentimes when I look in the eyes, I'll see a lesion, a genetic lesion or weakness in the upper portion of the iris, and it'll always intersect the area of the frontal lobe, the frontal brain. That's the area that's responsible for memory, okay? So if you have a weakness there, you'll suffer from memory issues, brain fog. A lot of people get dementia and Alzheimer's if they have a weakness there, especially in my clients where like it runs in their family. Let's say if their grandparents have Alzheimer's or dementia and my client is in their 30s, 40s, or 50s, what have you, then, you know, we'll always see that as a genetic lesion. And when it's genetic, it's always emanating from the colon. So there's the pupil, then the colon is a third of the way out. That lesion will be coming from the colon, right? So that's how I can tell if it's genetic. Now for these symptoms of like brain fog, poor memory, I recommend the brain and nerve formula and the circulation formula, blood circulation formula. That will help encourage blood flow up into the head area, bring those herbs from the brain and nerve formula to enhance brain function. That's what I recommend. Now you have poor vision. Poor vision, you know, that can be easily corrected with everything else that we were talking about, just clearing the head area. You can also do like the neti pot, you know, nasal irrigation to help remove sinus congestion, to help drain the whole area. You can also massage, do like self-lymphatic massage like on your face. There's also like massage tools that you can use. I think it's called gua sha. You can use that. Addressing the next few things, poor vision, you know, you can use the eye health tincture. You can take the eye health tincture internally, or you can use it, like put it in a little cup and use it as an eye wash to remove lymphatic congestion from the eyes. That can help you with your vision. Brain and nerve formula is also really good for that. And also an eye glandular could help provide a lot of nutrition to the eyes, feeding the optic nerve. You know, rebuilding eye tissue is really great for that. Ringing in your ears, that's pointing to adrenal gland weakness and also lymphatic stagnation issues, because the adrenal glands also produce neurotransmitters that help feed the ears, that help feed the nervous system. So it's a good idea to, you know, address the adrenal glands too. With an adrenal gland formula, either herbal or glandular, since it seems like you have a lot of like adrenal symptomology, I would recommend probably an adrenal glandular, but I would definitely have to assess your case before recommending that altogether. And then you said that you have anxiety, anger, and irritation. So anger can definitely stem from the liver. If the liver is very toxic, very congested, or you have a liver weakness, anger can stem from there. Oftentimes I find that people that hold a lot of anger, they tend to have like very you know, like locked jaws, or they'll have like pain or stiffness in their jaw. And this is usually like suppressed anger, repressed anger. And sometimes these people tend to crave things that are very crunchy, especially during your detox journey when you're trying to avoid like processed foods or like cooked foods, things like chips or, you know, like crunchy things like that. Then you really tend to notice like, wow, I'm craving something crunchy or savory. And it's because people with like deep-seated anger issues, it's because they use that energy to crunch, munch, you know? So and then a lot of times, you know, especially for females, if the jaw is locked up, you'll usually have also pelvis issues or female reproductive issues, because when you loosen this jaw, when you, okay, breathe in, breathe out, become present, you'll notice that your jaw loosens up, and you'll also notice that the female reproductive area also loosens up, the pelvis loosens up, right? That's something that I learned while getting ready for birth and during my pregnancy was, you know, if you have a tight jaw, the pelvis area is going to be tight. If you loosen the jaw, that's going to be loosened, right? So yeah, you can apply that to your situation. So anxiety always stems from adrenal gland weakness. Sometimes it has to do with the thyroid gland as well. So oftentimes if you have or experience like a lot of like low level emotions, the thyroid gland can become affected over time. So really the thyroid is what provides you with motivation, with like happiness, with like a heightened mood, with energy, right? And the adrenal glands are your like fight or flight, you know, they control the nervous system so much. So those two coupled together can result in anxiety. But you know, it's a good idea to like utilize self-help tools like journaling, you know, utilize things like that to really come to the root cause of anxiety, because it's best to address things from a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual standpoint. So it's not only just the physical, it's not only just the mental, right? Like psychiatrists like to think that everything's mental, but no, you have to address things with physical detox. You do have to work on your mindset. Yeah, mental, that's great. Emotional, you have to learn how to process your emotions in a healthy way. You know, I really like to recommend people to do somatic healing. It's really great for the emotional. For the mental, you know, DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, is really good for you know, learning coping mechanisms and also like mindset work. And then the physical, obviously I recommend physical detoxification with fruits and herbs, right? And then the spiritual, the physical helps you to dig deep into your spiritual healing. It just comes naturally, you know, like you almost don't even have to work at it, because detoxification will take you there. You know, physical detox will take you through all those levels, and then it'll heal your root cause of anxiety, right? So yeah, but anxiety can stem from, you know, like fear. Anxiety can stem from you know, like the groundedness, like do you feel grounded, right? If you guys know about chakras, the root chakra is associated with stability, security, you know, feeling grounded, feeling safe, right? People with anxiety, often they don't feel safe. So looking to healing the root chakra, looking to heal those areas of your body, then, you know, the anxiety can be relieved. So yeah, that addresses that first part of your question. The lymph on my right side of my head was inflamed weeks ago and became swollen. So, you know, that is an indication that your lymph nodes are not moving, they're not pumping. So, you know, a lot of times people, if they have a swollen lymph node, or if they have swelling of their lymph, they'll go to the doctors, and the doctors, what do they like to do? They like to prescribe sulfur medications to try and stuff and suppress those symptoms down, or they're looking at removing lymph nodes. So, you know, the medical route, they always either want to give you medications or cut something out. And there's no true healing in that way at all. You know, it's either suppression or cutting something out, right? But you want to keep your lymph nodes. You want to keep all parts of your body. It's very easy to get them clean, get them healed, you know, following this path. You're just following the diet that you're meant to consume as a human being. You know, physiologically, we're frugivores. Our ideal diet is mostly fruit, greens, veggies, some soaked nuts and seeds, and you know, you work through the levels of detoxification with that, and then you balance out after that, you know. So that's what everyone has to do. I need help. Okay, Okay, thank you for your videos. I have been plagued by a history of mercury poisoning from fillings for 40 years. What do you recommend for a natural detox? So you see, like mercury poisoning. Mercury is a neurotoxin, is an excitotoxin. It's a heavy metal. It has no place in your body. Now, so many people have mercury fillings, like their whole mouth is like covered with mercury fillings. And I recommend that people go to a natural, biological, or holistic dentist that has the proper practice in place to remove mercury fillings safely. Okay, because mercury is highly toxic, and if you don't go to the right dentist, then you could just be retoxifying your body, breathing in those mercury fumes again, and it can cause a lot of damage to your body. So yeah, I've heard clients tell me horror stories of that. So you want to make sure you go to a well-reviewed holistic dentist to start that journey of removing your mercury amalgams. But as far as like a physical detox goes, the best way to go into removing mercury from your body is you want to go at it two ways. You want to work the diet. You want to work like dark fruits, dark foods. Those tend to be more of like the neutralizers of heavy metals like mercury. So a good thing to to eat is grapes, really great, especially for pumping and moving the lymph system. So anytime you pump and move the lymph system, guys, you are actively removing chemical toxicity. So like what's a good heavy metal detox? Anything that pumps and moves the lymph system, which is going to be fruits, right? Now, heavy metals, they're so toxic that you do want to actively neutralize them. So that's why I mentioned grapes. Blueberries are really good for that. Green juices are very good for that. So like cilantro, parsley, anything dark green like that, or green wheatgrass, you know, kale, cucumbers, like you just stuff it with all the good stuff. Dill, all those good things in a green juice will help to neutralize heavy metal toxicity, mercury toxicity, right? And then after that, or like during your detox, it's good to combine the two, okay? So like in the beginning stages of your detox, it's really good to include green juices to neutralize these heavy metals. And also throughout your detox, it's good to include green juices because of the nutritional value and also its balancing effects in the body. Its mineral content, it's really good to nourish your body with those whole food minerals from green drinks. They're really good, right? Another thing is seaweeds. Seaweeds are excellent. Nori, kelp, wakame, dulse, all those seaweeds are really excellent for heavy metal detox. So incorporate all those into your detoxification, and then also keep in mind to put into place in your daily life is the consumption of astringent fruits and hydrating fruits. Melons, grapes, berries, citrus, apples. Those are the top ones that you want to include every single day, okay? But yeah, and then there, you know, I highly recommend the chem metal detox too, since you talked about mercury poisoning from fillings. And you know, if you're going to replace your fillings too, what's really important is replacing it with ceramic fillings, something that's non-toxic. Dentists, you know, offer different sorts of materials for fillings nowadays. So just try and find the lowest toxic form of a filling, and that's my best bet to you. But if you have a lot of mercury fillings, I take it that you probably have a lot of mouth and dental issues. So you want to have a look at, you know, is your parathyroid gland weak? An iris analysis would be able to tell us if your parathyroid gland is weak. That's the gland that controls calcium utilization. So people with a lot of teeth issues, they usually tend to have like a jaw weakness or mouth weakness as seen in their eyes. I'll usually see a lesion, usually genetic there, and then they'll usually have a parathyroid gland weakness or a thyroid weakness, right? Because, you know, parathyroid controls calcium utilization, and the thyroid does as well with calcitonin. Sometimes people have a pituitary weakness. The pituitary gland controls a parathyroid-thyroid relationship. Some people have a hypothalamus gland weakness that controls the pituitary, which controls the thyroid-parathyroid. So there's like a chain of command, right? So you have to make sure that you're addressing every single weakness possible. Now, not everyone has every weakness, but because you don't want to take something like an herbal formula or glandular if you don't have that area that's weak. That's not a good idea. You don't want to, you know, send a gland into hyperactivity. That's why a very good iris analysis, an accurate one, is very important. Everyone should get their case in their eyes analyzed if they are serious about healing and detoxing their body on this detox journey, okay? So yeah, I hope that helped you. I can't wait to work with you. You know, this is just like the tip of the iceberg, all these things that I'm talking about, but one-on-one guidance is very essential when trying to get out of this pain and suffering, and I really feel for you, and that's why I want to help you guys as much as possible, as much as I can, you know. But yeah, thank you for your question. It was a really good question. Okay, so let me enjoy a little sip of smoothie. Oh, so good. I put peach, black cherries, blueberries, and strawberries, apple juice, and water into this smoothie. And some superfoods, you know, like kelp, alfalfa, things like that. It's really excellent. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this video. I really like talking about detox. I really like helping you guys. It's my number one passion. It's what I feel like I was meant to do in this world. I feel like I went through all of my pain and suffering many years ago with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and endometriosis and anxiety and panic attacks and depression. Like, I felt like I went through that journey so that I could have personal experience, so that I can pass that, you know, empathy and knowledge on how to heal from all those symptoms, so I can pass that on to you guys. And that experience definitely ignited my love even more deeply for the human body and helping people heal. And you know, I just feel like I was destined to become a natural healer, and I definitely had to have that experience and that journey in order to get myself to this place where I am today, you know. Okay, so next question is, Hola Ailin. Hola. Thanks for all the great information. I started raw food diet 2 weeks ago, but I wonder if this is really going to help me. Is it possible to regenerate cartilage? Doctors have said that cartilage cannot regenerate. I have a very advanced osteoarthritis, mainly on my knees. I'm scheduled for a total knee replacement surgery at the end of this year. Do you know if the cartilage on my knees would regenerate with this diet? Thank you. Yes, so regenerating cartilage is really just like regenerating any other tissue in your body, you know? So some people need to regenerate their eye tissue, right? Because there's a decay of the eye tissue. Some people need to regenerate their nervous system. If they have MS, they need to regenerate their nerves, right? You know, regenerating cartilage, same exact thing. So think of cartilage as cells, and the cells or tissue, and cartilage is just a tissue. So if it's to the point of degeneration to where you need a total knee replacement, that is a lot. That is like, you know, degenerative decay. So it can take you some time to regenerate it, but you can regenerate it. I've seen regeneration. It's amazing. I've seen regeneration of so many things, guys, throughout the years, including the knees. You know, some people are like bone on bone. It's so severe. It's so painful. They can hardly walk, and that's what doctors recommend. But remember, doctors don't know how to heal the body. They only know how to treat symptoms with drugs or with surgery. That's not true healing, right? So if you want to avoid all that and actually take an active role in healing your body, this is the way to do it. So what I would recommend to regenerate your knees would be obviously a raw diet, 100% raw diet, removing all the worst offenders, a diet high in fruit, because a fruit diet is a regenerating diet, including some, you know, greens in there to help rebuild the tissues, to help rebuild the bones, the joints, the muscles, all those things. Addressing your parathyroid gland for calcium utilization issues, and I would even put in there an immune formula. The ultimate immune formula is really good if you need to heal something as quickly as possible. You know, that's as part of a detox protocol, but the ultimate immune formula is really good if you've detoxed your body for some time. So I usually include that, you know, after a few months of detoxing and healing the body. I would include in there superfoods, so like alfalfa, that's very high in nutrition, very high in calcium and minerals to help regenerate the joints. You know, you need to supply your body with the alkaline building blocks. So it doesn't mean reaching for a ton of protein or a ton of animal products that, you know, or beans or nuts that's actually going to, you know, acidify your body. You know, a small amount of nuts and seeds is okay, greens are okay, but it's very important to predominantly put the focus on fruits and then balancing out with the greens and a few nuts and seeds, and that will take your healing to new heights, right? So that's what I would recommend. But then, you know, we always have to circle back to, okay, why did this happen in the first place? Why did I start to lose my cartilage? Why am I in the position of needing a total knee replacement? It always goes back to the kidneys and adrenals. So if the kidneys are not filtering your cellular waste around your knees, guess what happens? Over time, that acidosis will break down the cartilage, break down the knee. Acids decay, acids destroy. Acids will chew up on all tissues, every tissue. So think of acidosis, guys, as a flame you know, if I were to have like a little lighter right here, and think of the tissue in your body as a piece of paper, and I light the paper on fire, what's going to happen? It's going to disappear. It's going to completely burn up, right? That's what happens in people in this position. If you lose your knees, this is what happens, right? So the body, though, is intelligent. It has its genetic material. It has everything it needs to be able to regenerate cartilage again, okay? That piece of paper did not have any genetic material. It doesn't have DNA. It doesn't have that coating, but your body does. You know, I've even seen people regrow their tonsils back, regrow tissue back. It's crazy. It's like magical. Everyone calls it like a miracle, but it's really just, you know, the awareness of how the body works and how the body can heal itself. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. You know, I would definitely recommend a complete diet plan and herbal protocol for your case, because it's going to take a bit more in order to regenerate your knees. But you know, definitely kidney and adrenal formulas, a lymphatic formula to help remove the acidosis there. I would also even include like castor oil packs to wrap it around your knee. Also probably like some herbal poultices, like comfrey. A comfrey poultice wrapped around the knee is really good. Comfrey is very soothing. It brings down acidosis and inflammation. It's like the ultimate healer, and also it's very high in a lot of nutrition and minerals that can help you, because your body will just suck all of those goodies into the tissue and into the knee. So yeah, there's so many things that you can do with the fruit diet, with the herbs, with detox tools. It's like very, very cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go into another question, guys. Thank you for your question. And I do believe that you can regenerate this, but I definitely recommend in a case of degeneration like this to work with me one-on-one. And what I would recommend is either the Master Health Package or the VIP package. The Master Health Package brings, you know, like the initial consultation, an iris analysis where I create your diet plan, your herbal protocol based on our, you know, our call together, one-on-one. Like I find out everything about you, about your symptoms, all those things. And then it also, you know, includes the iris analysis. So that's where I can really focus in on all the weaknesses that your body has right now and what's causing you all these health issues. And so that's what the Master Health Package is about, is it brings everything to help you get started. The VIP package is a bit more long-term, continuous, you know, like even daily support. So people that need a lot of accountability, if they want that, you know, if they want, you know, text and voice support every single day, that's what I would recommend, is the VIP package. And so you can find all those on my website at www.spiritualhealing.com, and I will leave a link to my services down below this video in the info section, in the description box. Okay, so next question is, hello Ailin, I would love for you to make a video about sinusitis, asthma, bronchitis. I have been suffering from all three as well as other issues. During the 90s, something happened to me. I believe I was exposed to something toxic. I started to cough up a lot of mucus that was from the 90s, and I'm still coughing it up today. No doctor can explain to me what the issue is. If you have an idea, please let me know. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things going on with this. So sinusitis ends with itis, right? Itis. Any sort of disease condition that ends with itis is inflammatory. And if it ends with an itis and it's inflammatory, it points to the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands have been suppressed in your body. You're not producing the adequate steroids in order to, you know, bring down that fire of the acidosis, right? So, you know, the adrenal glands are so important. That's your cortisol, that's your dopamine, those are your neurotransmitters, right? Those are your steroids. You need these little guys in order to help keep everything in balance and in check in your body. So with sinusitis, you know, it's again involved in the upper head region. You want to pretty much just open the head area, cleaning out the colon, cleaning out the lymph system, doing nasal irrigation, you know, breathing in clean air, making sure that there's no like trigger in your environment is very important too. So sometimes, you know, sinusitis can even be caused by of course it always has a lymphatic component, because people with toxic lymph systems, anything will trigger them, you know. But you want your lymph system to be so clean that if you come into contact with something that is chemical in origin or an irritation, it doesn't bother you, right? So like, let's say if you're allergic to pet dander, let's say if you're allergic to dust, right? It shouldn't bother you if your lymph system is clean, right? So that's the state that we want to get to. We want to clean it, the lymph system, address that root cause, right? You want to clean and drain that river, that flow of life. And you also want to get rid of anything that's triggering you in your environment. So if for you it's, I don't know, it can be anything really. It can be dust, it can be paint in a newly painted apartment, it can be animals if you're allergic to animals, it can be mold, it can be you know, chemicals from perfumes or body care products. So many things can cause that sinusitis, you know. So you want to get rid of that. And also having an air purifier would be really good. Just, you know, invest in a quality air purifier with a HEPA filter.